Good evening, and thank you so much for joining me for this WNCT Now digital news update. I'm Emily Severidge, live in the WNCT digital studio. Millions of Texans are still in the dark as electric companies struggle to restore power as round 2 of the storm hits. Since 1 p.m. today, more than 3.3 million customers are without power. Electric agencies are continuing with rotating outages in hopes to conserve and distribute heat and power to customers. They promise to restore load as fast as possible. Among fears of frostbite and other cold injuries, officials and EMTs are warning people about the dangers of carbon monoxide poisoning as they try to heat their homes without power. 14 patients were hospitalized on Tuesday alone for carbon monoxide-related poisonings. And those winter storms are affecting more than just roadways and electricity. The severe weather has now delayed shipments of the COVID vaccine to parts of the country, including here in the east. Duplin, Carteret, and Onslow County are among those affected. Officials in these counties are working to reschedule vaccine clinics, hopefully 4 times next week. These delays only affect the first doses of the vaccine. Second dose clinics are unaffected. Their rescheduling will put those who were getting their first shots due to the weather as first priority for vaccine shipments expected to be delivered next week. Stay with us and we'll be right back with some more news after this short break.
You can get 9 on your side news anywhere. We mean, well, anywhere at work. Over coffee, from the kitchen, the plane, outdoors, customized alerts. Everything you want in one place.
Breaking news.
We get it to you wherever you are. Out on the water, on a date, even at the North Pole. Ho, ho, ho. WNCT 9 on your side. News on the go. Anywhere, anytime. In the WNCT digital studio is online for you. Live afternoon news updates.
Continuing to track COVID-19 cases.
Don't forget the positive news with Feel Good Friday.
How about we break out some dance moves to kick off your weekend? Remember to see the good in each day.
And if you're looking for your next eatery, Digital Dining has you covered.
Tonight we're visiting Cucina La Mantilla. We visit Blend in Jacksonville. We're visiting La Cocina del Colqui.
These and more on WNCT Now under the live stream tab.
Thanks so much for joining me. If you're just tuning in, I'm Emily Severidge, live in the WNCT digital studio, bringing you some evening updates. WNCT is bringing you live streamed updates every Monday through Friday at 1:30 p.m. and 4 o'clock p.m. to bring you the latest and up-to-date news before our nightly newscast. Great Britain's 99-year-old Prince Philip has been admitted to a London hospital after feeling unwell. Buckingham Palace said the husband of Queen Elizabeth II was taken to the hospital on Tuesday evening as a precautionary measure. Also known as the Duke of Edinburgh, Philip retired from public duties in 2017 and rarely appears in public. The senior royal is expected to remain in the hospital for a few days of observation and rest. 20 years ago, our country experienced the tragedy that was 9/11. Since then, our nation has tightened security measures, namely in airports. But some say airlines aren't doing what Congress mandated them to do 3 years ago. Our sister station in Charlotte reports.
You know, we've not forgotten 9/11.
Nearly 20 years ago, Captain Dennis Tager was on a layover when America was attacked.
But every day that we fly is another day that we have stood tall and said never again.
As spokesperson for the union representing 15,000 fellow American Airlines pilots,
It's rather enraging.
Tager is reacting to a Fox 46 investigation, furious with the FAA for not doing what Congress mandated 3 years ago, require new planes have secondary barriers in front of the cockpit.
We need the FAA to step up. The writing has been more than on the wall. It's the law. And the FAA has been looking at the wrong wall. It's time to get this job done.
When pilots need to use the restroom or get food, the fortified cockpit door is open mid-flight, Often the only thing standing in the way is a flight attendant and a drink cart. This video, made by airline employees, shows how a breach could occur in less than 2 seconds.
I want the aircraft I'm flying on to have this second barrier. I want the aircraft that my family's flying on to have this second barrier.
Now, a Fox 46 investigation is shedding light on why the airline industry is reluctant to get behind these barriers, which pilots, flight attendants, and federal law enforcement say could save lives. This newly uncovered TSA report from 2018, which we obtained, shows the concern comes down to money. The report states TSA's recommendation to not mandate the use of a secondary flight deck barrier by the airlines is based on the delicate balance of cost of engineering and installation versus the measurable gain in aircraft safety, and some aircraft interior designs may lose vital first-class seats to accommodate secondary barriers, which would impact revenue opportunity for the airlines. The industry is also concerned about increased costs associated with fuel and maintenance. Airlines could also be at an economic disadvantage compared to foreign carriers that don't require barriers. The lobbying group for American Airlines opposes a bipartisan bill introduced last week that would require these barriers on all flights, citing opposition to, quote, a one-size-fits-all mandate.
So that's unacceptable. Here from the foxhole, I'll tell you, this is necessary. It defends our nation. It defends the airplane that I'm captain on. Anybody that thinks that we just can't afford to do this, you can't afford not to.
Well, that's going to wrap up this WNCT Now Evening News Update. We have more news coming up for you tonight on our broadcast at 5 and 6. Thanks so much for watching.